developers agree that cost buying land construction and you can see the market between the core areas like East Bangalore or South Bangalore or suburbs like North Bangalore. The 50 to 60 range of segment is moreover out of the market. Like you won't find anything in a 2 BHK segment or something towards 3 BHK segment in this particular budget range. If you want to go with a reputed developer, you will be having a studio apartment or probably a 1 BHK in this kind of range, wherein the buyer's perspective has changed. Right now, they are more keen towards a better lifestyle, better amenities, and a future towards their upcoming generation. So they are more keen towards to have a market where, or you can say a product where they can fulfill all these desires. And we have seen the backbone in past 2 years of this particular real estate sector is the product which is driving between a mid-cap to a premium luxury segment. And we can see a future also in this segment as developers are also concentrating to bring as much better product possible to the buyers.
Great. Thanks for your perspective, Ramesh. Ravi, quickly, if I have to ask you your opinion, that do you feel that we have, kind of really seen the price rise that has, kind of recently happened as one of the deterrent for the further uptick, or do you think the prices are still at a very comfortable stage and you don't see any further disruption happening?
First of all, thanks for giving the opportunity. I can say price means the customers what they are expecting, like they want lifestyle and community living, what their expectations. As builders also looking the construction cost. We see in recent days we are not getting much price challenges. Where demand, we are fulfilling the customer demand, so we don't look that price difference are there.
Great. Okay. So, Biren, how has been the festive season for you in terms of sales?
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks to India Expo for giving this opportunity. Festive season was quite good for us, actually, especially what we have seen. We have done good business. I have seen an article that in this Diwali, I think 8 lakh crore of business done by India, right? They break all the record for last many years. So we have done good business this Diwali. That's what I can say. But what happens in Bangalore? People say that the demand is slightly go down as per your report and what I have seen in the market, the sentiment what going on. Slightly Bangalore market little softened for last 6 months, but what actually we see, there is a mismatch of the supply and the demand. The supply is basically happening in the more into the luxury segment, and the demand is there more into I can say affordable or premium affordable segment. So basically we are into more premium affordable segment, so we done good business in Diwali. We feel that it will keep on continue. Before what you understand from the things what you saw, thanks to you that we got a lot of insight, you and Mr. Manohar sir also a lot of insight got about the real estate market. If you ask me, and through our experience what I have seen as a builder, we need to bring the product which the customer actually needs. But sometimes the supply is happening somewhere and the what is called your demand is somewhere else. We have seen last 10 years our entire the affordable segment has come down, drastically come down in fact. It has come down now 25%. That is because I have gone through that RERA website. I have seen that there is no product in affordable segment being launched in quite some time. If there is no launch, then where is sale going to happen? There are reasons behind that why you can't launch affordable project because of various reasons. Because the cost of construction gone up, land cost gone up more than double. Because generally you do the apartments little outskirt of Bangalore, like in Hoskote, Sarjapur and all locations. I've seen the where we land buying in 4 crore, 5 crore, the loan gone to 10 crore, 12 crore range. So very difficult to bring affordable to the product. That's what I've seen. Okay, but looking at the Bangalore market, what the things or data shows, a lot of potential is there in Bangalore. Bangalore, I feel it's like a magnet. Where the talent is there, company comes there. For company coming, talent pools there, right? That's what all things happening. And in Bangalore, I can see that East Bangalore part, you can say from Sajapur to almost the Hoskote Bodhigiri, the entire stretch, it is almost 25 kilometer stretch. The entire stretch, I see that huge potential is there. Because the entire Bangalore, if you divide as per your data, East Bangalore almost 60% of commercial space is there in East Bangalore. And Bangalore is having almost 30% of commercial space across India, what they have, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So I think Bangalore will be unstoppable in the future also. That's what we feel. But we need to supply the product in the right segment. That's what we feel.
I think you have beautifully summarized by saying that we need to supply, bring the product in the right segment. If the product is right, I think it will sell. Because what we have heard, yeah.
We are making a mistake. Please redefine what is affordability. What was 10, 15 years affordability is not affordability today. So redefine affordability, then only all this we are discussing will have a lot of meaning into that. Please redefine affordability today. Thank you.
No, I think that's a good observation. So in my opinion, see, if you take Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana's definition of affordability, it's a joke, to be very honest. 40 lakhs and below, I don't think you will get even a garage today. So, but if you look at Bangalore market itself, I don't think anything is available below 85 lakhs. So in my opinion, if you take into account 2x of the average annual salary, I think still the definition of affordable should be somewhere around, for a city like Bangalore, I would say 85 lakhs, up to 85 lakhs. For a city like Mumbai, it should be below 1 CR, taking into account the construction cost, the land acquisition cost that has gone up. But I think if we really do a soul searching, I'll give you an example. I was in Delhi last month, and I was talking to, if you forget about definition, the equation of affordability has come for a toss. So I think that's where the industry needs to have a look at, and it cannot happen without government support. Because developers, I think the cost of land acquisition has gone up. The bureaucratic process that it takes into getting the approval, it's almost adds 20 to 25% of the cost. So we cannot just shift the blame on the developer fraternity and say that the prices have shot up quite high. I think a lot of other factors have also contributed. So I don't know whether I answered your question or not, but I think the definition for affordable needs to be the average.
Again, so everybody, the developers has to cater. So it is not affordable. How you build your IRR, how you bring in technology and infrastructure, resources to bring down the cost, reduce the wastage, and effective marketing. I mean, wherever it's possible, unless we all don't think on those lines, we can't get into we only think of land price escalating, everything, and there's no affordability, but everybody wants home. We as developers have to create to every segment. That's how our country can grow. And that's our responsibility. That's what I think.
You're right, you're right. So, again, another example, land accounts for almost 60 to 65% of the entire construction cost. Now, let me give an example. In Hyderabad, I think last year, somewhere in Neopolis, the land acquisition happened at 100 crores per acre. That time, eyebrows were raised. I think couple of back in the same locality, the auction was done at 170 crores per acre. Now just imagine if a developer is acquiring land at 170 crores per acre. You do the calculation of math. Will he be able to come up with an affordable project? He is forced to come out with something which is beyond the reach of the... My only worry is that India has an inherent demand for housing, right? We are a housing deficit country. But let's say if you start to push a product which, majority of the population cannot afford, that's where you create a scarcity. The good part is that the infrastructure is opening up huge land parcels, and you're seeing a lot of development happening in the peripherals. And eventually, the law of markets will play. If the supply shoots up too high, I think the prices will kind of start to stabilize. So I think the market forces will play, and that's where we as developers, or let's say industry practitioners, need to identify when the cycle is peaking out, and how do we price a product. When do we need to walk out of such auctions where the land prices are just becoming the matter of ego for the developers to bid. So these are whole calculation, but again, we cannot take away the credit from the developers that they are the community who are taking the maximum amount of risk, and they are all the one who are creating landmarks which creates destination, and then further employment hubs are created. So I totally agree, but this is where we are unfortunately right now, and it's a part of cycle.
That's what I was saying. We have to restructure the whole ecosystem, right from the government, the infrastructure, everything, so that people can move outside for a lower price of land and acquisition, and then get into the people we could serve. These are total ecosystem that
you're totally right, and that's where everybody realizes. But it's kind of who will bell the cat. It's
Actually, I just like to add something. See, sir, it depends upon the location also.
Yeah.
See, right now, if you expect Whitefield to offer an affordability pricing, it's practically not possible. The land acquisition itself is not meeting the requirements. The prices are too high. With those price range, if you try to bring any affordable segment within East Bangalore, practically it will not work out for the developers. We have to plan something. If you have to plan something in the affordability range, somewhere bit outskirts of the Bangalore. Probably you can say off Sajapura, Devanahalli, Dobaspit, or Nilmalla maybe. Those areas you can plan these kind of segments. Yes, that is the practicality right now. No, that again we have to rely upon the present state government, and they are doing well. To be very frank, they are bringing a lot of reforms. There are a lot of development which is happening. If you talk about IT corridor, if we talk about the Bangalore metro expansion, there are upcoming development which they themselves have declared. Recently, I hope you have seen the article, BDA is acquiring more than 6,000 acres for developing 6 layouts near to PRR2. So that kind of development they are also bringing in, which will further enhance the infrastructure and give us the required results.
But we are also missing the income generating part also. So I think the kind of math that you're talking about has to also keep into account that our GDP and job creation happens. So I think this is a broad topic, but good point you brought. So if you don't mind, I'll just move on to the other panel as well, and maybe we can have this discussion. But very interesting observation. So Srinivas, before I come to you, by the way, let me give his background. He's the man with money. He kind of deals with the financing part of it. But Srinivas, I'll come to you later. Let me go to the gentleman next to you. Is that if you quickly have to summarize, the risk that you see that might derail, and the reason I'm talking a lot more about risk is that people tend to get a bit reckless when things are going good. So it's rather to kind of keep those guardrails in mind while things are going good, while later kind of regretting in hindsight, oh, we could have done that. So with that, if you could just list 2 or 3 top things that we could do wrong which might derail this momentum that we have seen in residential real estate, and that too after a very long time.
So if you talk about risk part, so see, I'm a civil engineer too, so I can discuss about the engineering perspective as well. So what I've seen, basically I operate in the eastern part of the Bangalore. So what I've seen, the major risk nowadays is, the delays because of, product availability. For example, let's say, the availability of the materials for the project. So for example, we are doing one project in Gunjur. So we ordered some, let's say, some tiles parts. So the availability of the materials nowadays, because of the GST and the rates changes, a lot of things are changing now. So that is, I felt, a builder who has the intention to deliver the project on time, he has the funds, everything is in place. But, the materials, if they're not coming on time, that is, this is for me, that is the biggest risk which I feel. The second thing is sales. If sales are not happening on time, and builder has taken money from outside and they have taken loans, and also if sales are not happening, where the builder will go? Builder cannot do all the process by self-funding. If it is self-funding, yes, they can finish the project on time. But sales, I guess, if sales team or markets are supporting, yes, that is good.
I think the reason I wanted to bring in Srinivas at the end of it, because I wanted to keep the best for the last. And since you also raised a very valid point that developer cannot do everything on his own, he cannot be always self-funded, and that's where the man with the money comes to the pictures. Srinivas, if you have to quickly tell this room and the developers, let's say if they're in the process of raising construction finance, what are the key things that they should look at? For example, let's say when some developer comes to you for raising construction finance, what are the key things that you advise him, or what are the key things that you would look into the entire process?
Yeah. Firstly, thank you, gentlemen, for providing this opportunity to me. Before I start to answer your question, I always think that real estate is not cyclical. Even though you are a research guy and everyone in the market says it, it may be in patches, 6 months, 1 year. I have been seeing this industry since '92 when I started, and I don't see any year where the prices have come down. Sales may not happen, the prices will not come down. And they say there's a lot of supply, but to find my first house, I took 6 years. I could not find one. To buy my second house, I took 8 years. So, of course, in a lifetime, probably 1 or 2 houses only we take. And probably, even with the money, with the industry, buying a house requires 6 to 8 years. If a guy is like me, probably because I'm from the industry, I don't believe guys. So, that's in a lighter way, and I just wanted to tell you. And coming to the finance part, it's very interesting, as he also suggested that the funds should be available, and the funds will be available for any projects in 3 parts. One, the promoter has to put his money. One, he should rely on sales, and the third one, he has to take a loan. So again, when availing a loan, there are few things which everyone should keep in mind. Of course, one is the pricing. Pricing in the sense the rate of interest. Money earned, money saved is money earned. So in India, there are various segments where you can get a funding, formal line, informal line, and all these years real estate was operating on the informal lines, so that even now most of the time, the private money market enter into the projects through their funding to pre-bookings and all. But coming from the formal point of view, as I told, the pricing, it's very peculiar in real estate that the funds are available from 9% to 21%. And as a lending career, I have lent loans from 9% to 21%. I had customers at 9%, customers at 12%, 15%, 18%, and 19%. So there's a vast, the gulf is too much. It all depends upon so many points, that who is the sponsor of the project, where the project is, how much money he has brought in, what he has sold, so on and so forth. The other one is the quantum of funding. Once again, coming back to the financial closure of the project, the sale should happen, the promoter should bring in money, and some amount you have to get in from the funds or the banks or the FIs, whatever it is. So what is that? What is the optimum, or what is the thumb rule for that? Generally, we say that the loan from the bank should be around 40 to 50% of the project cost. Even though the promoter brings in around, say, 20-25% of the project cost, 50% can be availed from the banks, and 20-25% should come from the sales. So now coming to the next point, which institutions to choose? As I told you, there are many institutions nowadays. There are banks, private banks, public sector banks, NBFCs, home loan companies. So there are so many things, and each one are different from one another. So nowadays, as a consultant, I am preferring the public sector banks, mainly because of the interest rates. The last deal I have closed for a commercial project, it's at 9.5%, where even the LOIs for the lease has not happened. So that's the power of the nationalized banks. Yeah, but one thing, you have to be patient. You have to be patient a little bit. That is where I am there, you can test my patience, and I have a lot of patience to deal with. And that's where I come from. So I consider myself as a punching bag. The developer can also punch me, and the lender also can punch me. I am thin, but I have good muscle to, take the blows. So this is what happens. Okay, we are slow, but they deliver. One more thing, with what we should observe is what are the preconditions for disbursement. Not only for the first disbursement, also for the further disbursements. Generally, all the institutions, they give you a milestone for disbursement. The milestones may include the sales milestones, the collection milestones, and the construction milestones. So this is what happens. We should be very careful in agreeing to these milestones, because we know this market, sometimes the collections may not happen as expected. I think most of you are from sales. So you can hit the sales, but collections will again differ. And one or two things which happen in the economy, lost jobs will be there, increments will not happen, then your customer may not pay you as expected. So if the bank or an FI put a condition that you bring so much from the sale, then only I will release the money, you should be a little careful in that. Of course, everyone will have it. And again, to be honest, public sector banks will not ask it. Generally. So these are the things we should see. And one more thing is the hidden charges. Again, now once I said pricing of 9 to 21%, say you have contracted for a ROI of around 13%. So there could be some hidden charges. You all know there will be a processing fee of 1%, 1.5%, 2%. And then there will be other hidden charges that nowadays the banks are smart enough. They collect some yearly renewal charges. It looks very small, say 5 lakhs per annum, or say 2.5 lakhs per annum, and some audit charges, inspection charges. So we should be a little wary of them, even though when I'm talking of bulk funding, this may not matter much, but yeah, it's a cost. And the other one is the loan servicing. So generally when I was young, I used to think, what is loan servicing? Yeah, you take the money, you pay me back. What is there in servicing? There is nothing in servicing. Then I realized that, whenever you sell, you require NOCs. You require the tax certificates. So these comes under servicing. So there are a couple of institutions where, they refuse to give the NOC to a customer because of various XYZ reasons. Maybe you are not cordial to him. Maybe you don't receive the manager when he comes. They delay. So these are the other aspects which you should see. And lastly, the smooth closure. Nowadays, the banks won't allow you to close also because they have their own targets. And it's difficult again for them also to maintain their books. And now with the new RBI guidelines, takeover of the loans has become very difficult. I think it has started from October 1st or so. Earlier, if you're not happy with the bank, you will threaten that he will take over. Now it's not possible. You have to remain with the bank because of the DCCO closures and all. The finance guy would understand it. I will not go dwell deep upon it. So these are some of the things we should take care. This is regarding a pure CF. So there are other things where, say for example, funding of land, funding for TDR, funding for JDA. Banks cannot do it because RBI has not given a green signal for that. So there are other funds generally known as AIFs, alternate investment funds. There again, you should be careful again on few things. Once again comes to the pricing, because how the AIFs work will be on a different structure. There will not be a ROI structure, it will be IRR structure. And again, most of the cases, there will be a repayment like payable when able. When the project kicks in, you pay more money. Initially, you don't pay me money. Initially, you pay me a lesser money. But everything you have to see. One more very important thing with dealing with AIFs is the lock-in period. See, AIFs gets the funds from the other investors. They would have promised something to their investors which they should get in return from you, then only they can pay. So they have a lock-in structure. And one more thing is the withholding taxes. So if you are taking money from a offshore fund and all, so there will be some element of cost on the withholding taxes, which again you should try to build in your IRR. And one more very important thing is the sponsor. Who is funding you? So that is very important, because earlier we used to say that, I am a lender. Lending is very easy. But again, you should always remember that many good sponsors have closed their shop because they have to get their money back. So sometimes you may have to see the books of the lender also as to whom he has funded. Because if he doesn't get money from his borrowers, he may not be able to lend you more. And again, the pricing depends upon what he has managed to recover. Because whenever any loan goes into default, bank is not going to take it. He will put it on his new customers. So you should be wary of the fact of who is the sponsor. We have seen some banks closing the shop, some frauds happening. So I would always prefer to go with the public sector banks or a large private banks or some good NBFCs.
I think what Srinivas is trying to do is promoting Make My India through nationalized banks. And Srinivas, I hope you buy your third house pretty soon. I think
I have experienced that. That's why I'm doing.
Okay. So, I'll not stretch this discussion more. I understand this is the peak lunchtime. I would end with, one common question for all of you. Now, let's say if you have to give a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 about your outlook for residential real estate, 1 being the least and 10 being the highest, and also your reason for that rating. To start with you.
So I'll put this.
I'll just repeat for this. So if you have to rate the outlook for residential real estate on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, the least negative and 10 being the most positive outlook, and one reason why do you feel so?
So I would like to rate it 7 or 8, you can probably say. And I would like to say so because we have seen past few years it's been developing well. A lot of sales we have been through, and we are seeing the future ahead also. Yes, there is a slight dip which we can all observe, but every sector, whatever sector you look into, there will be always, it can't be a straight chart. Okay, it has to be somewhere, it will go down, it will come up, and this sector also feeling the same thing. And probably we can say JFM quarter will give us good results, as that's where people will look forward to invest, and we can see a good a hike in terms of real estate sales. So I'll say 7 to 8 would be an appropriate figure to offer.
I will rate, I can say as NBR, almost 8 to 9. We have done a good number of sale. Even I can announce that we have achieved almost, before launch itself, around 100 crore turnover. So, and people also, what they are looking, they are upgrading from mid-segment to luxury segment nowadays. So, what NBR is doing, we are like luxury, lifestyle living and community living we are providing. So we have seen a good upgrade. Previously we were into the plotted. Now we came into the luxury segment. So we've seen that this financial year, it was very good for NBR, I can say. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I am little bullish about Bangalore market. I want to give 10 out of 10. That's what I feel. Because I don't think Bangalore market is an unstoppable market. You look at the climate, you look at the infrastructure what is coming up in next 5 to 10 years, you can't imagine. If you talk about metro, now metro I think almost 100 kilometers already opened up. By end of next year, we expect another 75 kilometers will open up. They are touching that to the airport. And I think we have planned to go up to 350 kilometers stretch. This is huge. It will be extended in the country. and you're talking about the underground roads are planned from Hebbal to Egan Silk Ward. And every year there are population growth of around 5 lakhs happening as per your data, 4 to 5 lakh population growth happening. So you go by the basic concept of the human needs, this is roti, kapda, makan. So everybody needs have a, what is it called, need to have a house, right? That I don't think residential sector in Bangalore will calm down at any point of time. Because as per the data, what we get it, generally Bangalore, we sell around 60 to 70,000 units in a year. And if you go by the ratio of number of people to houses, it stands now 4. The 4 people need a house. I think Bangalore, by looking at the nuclear families happening, Bangalore need the ratio of 3 or 3.2 need to house. So you will see the ratio now Bangalore having around 36 lakh houses for 1.45 crore populations. So I think there is still a weak shortage of houses there, and the supply has to come in the right segment. That's what is Sari asking. What mean by affordability? But it's difficult to define that because the input cost is going up, your land cost gone up. By what are the infrastructure development happening across Bangalore now? I think the city can expand to all directions, your east, west, north, south. Not like Bombay. Bangalore can expand to all across its periphery, right? So I feel the input cost slowly come down on the IRR, PRR, all will get connected. So input cost will come down, and our when the input cost come down, I feel we can bring better product and with affordable prices what human needs. Thank you.
I second his opinion. It's 10 out of 10. Nothing can beat. Nothing can beat. And affordability, as per me, it could be around 85 to 1 crore. And I vaguely remember that Sopernica had once, dreaming of providing a home at around 13 to 14 lakhs, right? 9.9 lakhs. So soon it would be 9.9 crore maybe.
So for me also, I think it's 10 on 10 because I observed few things. For example, people talk a lot about roads, potholes, and a lot of things. But what is happening? Still flats are selling, still houses are selling. People are absorbing it by having a lot of problems and let's say traffic and all, but still we are selling it. So it means what? Demand is there. So every year on year, a lot of thousands of people are coming to Bangalore. They need house. So who, all those people who are making the nuisance, for example, roads are not good, who has bought the house and living, let's say 5, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years are over, they're living in the house. But the people who are coming new, they want house. They need house. So for them, it is new. So absorption will happen. People will absorb it. So 10 on 10.
So it's heartening to close this discussion on a positive note. Hello, sir. How are you? Seeing after a long time. So the good part is that the entire community is very bullish that the industry is going to thrive, and the good part about Bangalore is that in spite of all those noises that we hear in or see in social media, it is still a magnet for talent and good long sticky capital. We call it grade A office capital of India, we call it startup capital of India, we call it GCC capital of the world. And in fact, new terms that has been doing round is that Bangalore has become the backend of the world in terms of all the R&D centers are shifting here. I think with the massive infrastructure upgrade that we are going to see pretty, coming years, we are all set for a good ride. Only a price of caution, I would like to play a devil's advocate over here, is that we should also keep an eye on what the consumer wants and what is the right price point, where the market can sustain this momentum. With this, I would like to thank all of you to be part of this wonderful discussion, and thank you all for having a wonderful audience. Thanks.
I must say, what an engaging, enlightening, interactive session. That was a huge round of applause for our speakers today. And the moderator, and may I request Dr. Prashant sir to please, as a token of a small gratitude, to kindly felicitate our speakers. To do the proceedings, may I request you to kindly follow with our speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a huge round of applause for Mr. Roman Thagani, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for your time and your participation in today's India Property Awards 2025. Mr. Birain, sir, followed by. Keep the applauses coming. Everyone, please give them a big hand. Mr. Ravi Kumar, sir, to kindly accept the felicitation for your participation and glorious presence here with us at today's prestigious event. Mr. Srinivas, sir, thank you so much for your contribution in today's event. Mr. Pradeep Kumar, sir, to kindly accept the felicitation. A loud round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for doing the honors.